People driven by a common cause
can have an enormous impact.
National Geographic 33 honors changemakers from across the globe. Hey, I'm Yara Shahidi.
I'm Javeri Kadri.
I'm
Pugh.
I am Pattie Gonia.
I'm Oksana Masters.
And I am proud to be part of the National Geographic 33.
2, 1.
Describe your mission in 5 words.
My mission?
Oh boy. That's too many words.
Protecting oceans for future generations. I've been swimming now for nearly 40 years. Over that period of time, I've witnessed enormous changes happening in our oceans. And I remember a swim which I did many years ago down in Antarctica, a place called Deception Island, and it used to be the epicenter of the whaling industry. And I remember swimming across this bay, and underneath me were literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of whale bones. And they were piled up so high that they were nearly to the surface of the water. It was at that moment that I began to think, I now need to be a voice for all the incredible wildlife in our oceans. So not just swimming, not just breaking records, but also linking it with a message. Think about ways of getting world leaders to focus on these issues. We do expeditions to some of the most fragile areas in the world. These get lots of media attention, and we hope that doing these swims and then afterwards trying to get these areas protected, then world leaders won't ignore them.
Building a better spice trade. In 2017, I visited our now Pragati turmeric farm, run by the Kasarani family, and it changed my whole life. When the British, the Dutch, the French built up the spice trade, they built it around yield and profitability. It had nothing to do with flavor, aroma, or really quality in any way. When I realized that South Asia had these incredible farmers who were choosing to grow differently and choosing to pursue regenerative agriculture, the only thing they didn't have was access to a high-value market. There was just this feeling of, wait, I think I can do that. I think that I can take these incredible farming families and give them access to market. That felt worth spending my life doing. To me, our biggest opportunity to change our world is using climate change as an opportunity rather than seeing it as an impending disaster. It's an opportunity to change the way that we farm, to change the way that we consume, our relationship to nature and agriculture. So the opportunity is the crisis in front of us.
Climate joy, you're invited. Yay! When I was a little queer kid, I loved nature. It was my first safe space. And then in middle school and high school, I met a lot of homophobic people who told me that nature wasn't a place for me. I wasn't masculine enough. I wasn't good at sports. So I stopped going outside. I stopped hanging out in nature. And it wasn't until a backpacking trip where Pattie was born that I really started this reconnection to myself, this reconnection to nature, and it has changed my life in every way. We live in a world nowadays where a lot of people feel like they don't belong outside because of who they are or what they look like. I think we need everyone to go outside because everyone needs to fall in love with this planet. When we fall in love with something, we fight for it. I think that joy is the most overlooked thing as a part of every single movement, especially the climate movement. I just want to have more fun. I think that we can fight hard and work together and find joy in the middle of it.
To inspire and empower young girls. There's a saying I live by: to be irreplaceable, one must always be different. My passion to make change really stems from all the experiences and everything I did not have and wish I had. So many people see me now as a 19-time Paralympic medalist with 4 different sports, but what they do not see is that I was living out of my car. I did not make my first Paralympic Games. I did not make my first national team. I didn't get my first gold medal until the 4th Paralympic Games, when I didn't have the words to describe my trauma and how to process it. I let my body process it and let it out. For me, sports was my way to deal with that trauma when I needed to scream. I'm thinking about creating opportunities for that next little girl who was always told that she was too small and that she doesn't belong as an athlete, and to just try and leave the sport better than I entered it.
Equity, curiosity, education, and then in a hyphenated word, pursuit of happiness. I think some of the best advice I've received is to follow my curiosities. I love finding a topic that interests me and unabashedly finding any resource on it. My voting work to my acting has truly been me pursuing something that I'm interested in. My academics have been a pursuit of what am I interested in. I've grown up around women that have always encouraged me to pursue STEM. My science teachers, my math teachers were incredible women. I always felt like there was space for me in the classroom and in the field, but it's not a common feeling that many people get to experience, especially people of any kind of intersection of both ethnicity, race, identity. And because STEM leads the way in terms of the future that we're carving, the more voices we have in STEM, the more equitable our future is.